Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on this coppery smoky eye that I have on today. I used the original Jaclyn Hill palette today. Excuse how dirty and grimy my palette looks. You could tell that this is one of my most loved palettes. I am obsessed with this look. This look is perfect for fall and winter time. It's like that perfect coppery smoky eye with some gold in there. Please be sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and if you would like to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, starting off we're going to use the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and this one is a small size that I bought to try it first. Alright, now for foundation, I'm going to use the YSL All Hours foundation, and then I do mix a little bit of L'Oreal Pro Matte in there just because it doesn't last as long as I would like it to, and it's just ever so slightly too dark. So I mix this in to lighten it up and give it more lasting power. And I'm just going to be buffing this into the skin using my Morphe Highlight and Contour Sponge. Now for concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And I'm using the pointed side of that exact same Morphe Highlight and Contour Sponge to buff out my concealer on my eyelid as well as my under eye area. Now to set my under eyes, I'm going to use the CoverFX Perfect Setting Powder. Again, I am using this exact same sponge to kind of bake the under eyes, but without applying too much powder that I have to dust it all away. But this helps to keep it in place all day long. Alright, now to set my face, I'm going to use my Merle Norman Ultra Powder Foundation. I'm also going to be applying this with my damp sponge as well, because again, it is like baking, but not applying so much excess powder that you have to then dust it all away. But this helps significantly with my oil throughout the day, so this is a crucial step in my makeup routine. Alright. For bronzer today, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer in the shade Bronzed, and I'm going to be using that with my JH02 brush. And I'm just going to be kind of bronzing up pretty much the entire face just to add some life back to the skin. Alright, now for blush, I'm going to be mixing Makeup Geek Infatuation with MAC Margin, and I'm going to do this on my Morphe JH04. Alright, now I'm going to set my face with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Now for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter with my JH09 brush. Alrighty, moving on to the eyes, we're going to be using the original Jaclyn Hill palette today. We're going to mix Silk Cream and MFEO, which are these two shades right here, and I'm going to be mixing those on my JH32 brush. And I'm just using windshield wiper motions and then circular motions to apply this in the crease. And this is our transition shade. So we want this to be not too much darker than our natural skin coloring, but just to give something for everything to blend into. So now the next shade we're going to use is we're going to use the shade Butter, which is this one right here. And I'm going to be using this on my JH33 brush. And I pack this on the side of the brush and then I tap off the excess. And we're gonna start out here on the outer half of the eye. And I'm just kind of using swiping motions, keeping the brush on its side to apply that out here. And then I'm taking it into the crease. And then I'm going to take that shade again and I'm just going to put it on the tip of the brush now and just run it along my lower lashes. I want this first shade to be pretty smoked out, and then I want them to come closer to the lash line as we go darker. Alright, so now just repeating that exact same thing on the other eye. So again, just swiping it on the outer half with the brush flat to the eye. And then going into the crease. Alright, next we're going to use Roxanne, which is this one right here. It's a nice red brown, and I'm using that same JH33 brush, but I'm packing this on a little bit more on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to use packing motions to put this on out here because we want a little more pigment. Alright, and now I'm sweeping now that I have that initial part applied. And then going into the crease. Alright, I just wiped off that brush and now I'm just going to blend that out. I'm going to start off with windshield wiper motions and then go into circular motions. Alright, and now I'm just going to repeat that exact same thing on the other eye. I am going to take a little bit of that Roxanne shade on the tip of this JH33 and just run this on the lower lash line as well. Alright, now we're going to go in with the shade Mocha, which is this one right here. And I'm going to take that on the JH40 brush. And we're going to start working this out here to just deepen things up. So I'm working this on the outer half, just a little lower than we have the previous two shades, and then into the crease as well. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up that JH33 brush and just help blend that out. Alright, we're going to repeat that exact same thing on the other eye. Alright, I'm going to use that JH40 brush that we were using in that Mocha shade and run this on the lower lash line, but not dragging it all the way in. We're only going to go about halfway. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lightly clean up any messiness around the eye. So I'm going to use my Morphe highlight and contour sponge and some of that translucent powder that we use to set our under eyes and just stamp it right around the eye to kind of bake. And this just helps to clean up any messiness that we have going on around the eye. Okay, just like that. Alright, now we're going to go into the shade Central Park, which is this one right here. And I'm going to use that same JH40 brush and just a little bit. I don't want a ton of this, but just a little bit to lightly deepen it up right out here. Then I'm just taking my JH33 brush and just making sure that everything is nice and blended. I'm going to take a little bit of that Central Park shade on that same JH40 brush and just ever so lightly put that down here as well on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take that translucent powder and just touch up where I may have rubbed it off doing those steps. Alright, so now I'm going to use the shade, alright, I'm going to use the shade Hillster, which is this one right here, and I'm going to use my JH41 brush, and I am going to wet my brush with some Fix Plus from MAC as well. So we're gonna do this really quick. All right, and I'm gonna place this on like the inner, like center of the eyelid. And I'm using kind of patting motions to apply this. It helps to blend it into the crease as well as these darker shades that we have out here. It did apply a little too much on this eye, so I just wiped off my brush. And we're just gonna kind of pat over it just to help blend out. Okay, I'm gonna grab that JH33 brush just because I went a little crazy on this eye. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to jump in with the shade Queen, which is this beautiful gold right here, and I'm going to again wet the brush with Fix Plus. Okay, and then this is going to go on the inner third of the lid, meeting that copper shade. Just like that. So I'm just going to repeat that exact same thing on the other side. And also, if you're wondering how much Fix Plus you should spray on your brush, I usually do about 2 sprays before going in on the eyelid. I think that gets it the right amount of dampness for the real metallic look. Especially with it being an eyeshadow. If you're working with a pigment, you can kind of drench the brush, but sometimes with an eyeshadow, if you drench it, when you try to go back in and reuse that eyeshadow, you can ruin the eyeshadow, so you don't want to do that. And I went a little too far with the copper, or not the copper, the gold, so I'm going to just intensify that copper just a little bit. Just like that. Alright, so now we're just going to wipe off that baking really quick. I'm going to use my JH07 brush, looks like this, and I'm just going to wipe that away. And you can see how that just cleaned up the eye shape. Alright, I'm going to go apply mascara and lashes off camera. I'm going to be using the Velour Wispy Sweet Nothing lashes, and I will be right back. Alright, lashes are on. Now the last thing I'm going to do for the eyes is I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to use the shade In Light, which is this one, and I'm going to use that on my JH42 brush, and I'm going to use this on both the inner corner and the brow bone. Now for lipstick, I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Celebrity Skin. Alright, you guys, this is the finished makeup look. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again in my next one. Bye!